Reese had a game where she shot 0 for 8 from the floor. She was scoreless through the whole game.
Caitlin Clark. Now, the ratings have come out without Caitlin Clark, and they're a disaster. They're exactly, we had been saying this whole time. What, 50%? I mean, it was going to be bad. We've always said, look, the amount of people tuning in for Caitlin Clark versus not Caitlin Clark is astronomical. But there is no greater example of this besides...
It wasn't a sellout. Instead, it was a clear out. So stay put as we delve into the funny reality. No one, and we mean no one, turned up to watch Angel Reese against the Liberty. Was it a game or a ghost town with a basketball? Did she play or just hold an invisible meet and greet? Why were popcorn vendors saying, "Wait, who's Angel Reese again?" And why were fans missing behind the vacant seats? Hold on tight, for this failure is worthy of its own comedy show.
Yes, it was a New York team. By the way, Chicago and New York, both huge markets. It was going to tell us so much about where this league is with and without Caitlin Clark. Holy crap. The rating was a disaster. Chicago Sky at New York Liberty on ESPN. Not NBA TV, not Ion Network, not Amazon Prime. Did a 0.606 million viewers. And in case you don't know what that means,
the current state of the WNBA's management resembles a chaotic scene where raccoons are trying to run a software business without any training, all while mistakenly believing they are in control. Kathy Engelbert, a burning circus tent, believes that the best way to advance women's basketball is to use her bare hands to undermine the one player who is literally pulling the league out of obscurity.
New York Liberty, Chicago Sky game. Did y'all get a chance to peep that?
It's not leadership, it's sabotage in a pantsuit. Let's be clear, Caitlin Clark didn't just walk into the WNBA. Instead of presenting her as the human jackpot that she obviously is, Engelbert and her team are acting as though she poses a threat to be neutralized. He is the headline, the spark, and the reason casual fans even realize there is a league. He burst through the front doors with a sold-out audience, a million eyes, and more press than the entire league had seen in years combined.
Versus the Chicago Sky at our home court in Chicago, Illinois. The New York Liberty had 99 points. They almost got to 100 points, guys. Whereas the Chicago Sky, all we had was 74 points. Now you look at this team, you look at how we played, just terribly, just so poorly. Poor, just not efficient at all. No discipline. No fitness, no athleticism, no raw strength.
However, the WNBA appears more interested in throwing her to the wolves than in pretending they don't hear the growling. What is the league's marketing strategy? Apparently, we should act as though we have this all worked out before treating the only thing lacking as someone giving Caitlin a welcome to the league fruit basket full of bricks and elbows. She is a marketable superstar who is bright, like a rookie intruder in our private clubhouse.
National TV ratings have declined 55% since her injury. To put that into perspective, before her injury, Fever national televised games were 1.8 million viewers. After she got injured, they dropped to 847,000 viewers. The 55% decline as a whole from 1.81 million viewers dropped a whole million viewers per game. There's just no denying it.
It's almost amazing that you have the biggest sensation in women's sports, and your response is to post her games on channels that no one watches. Sometimes no one is awake, and promote her as if she were a weekend science teacher. Instead of putting her in the spotlight with camera branding and partnerships with Gatorade and Nike, peak marketing genius seminar in the meantime, the league is going full Hunger Games, and Kathy is giving guns to the tributes. The hits on Clark are mounting more quickly than the excuses that the NFL would cite for hard screens, shoves, and body checks, all of which are being dismissed like a Monday morning spill of coffee rather than upholding the rules and safeguarding players, it's merely a portion of the game speeches given by those who most likely. This isn't some gentle initiation. This is sanctioned chaos. If Clark were receiving this treatment in any men's, the league office would have issued a memo, held a press conference, and fired someone by now. They couldn't even identify a pick and roll if it hit them in the face, and they're not even trying to sell the rookie dudes narrative. Here, the quiet is so intense that it almost has its own sound system. There's a generational talent on your hands who has the ability to take the WNBA to new heights, but the top answer is a shrug and a well-written press release that pretends everything is okay. Kathy Engelbert's management style is less visionary and more mall cop.
Next game, guys, we got humiliated and embarrassed. My heart is broken. I just don't, it's like this. I was able to catch the Atlanta versus Indiana Fever game here and there. Indiana Fever got their lick back, they won. But the Atlanta Dream only lost by 4 or 5 points. That's not a blowout to me. Again, to me, 10 plus points when it hits the...
It's not okay. The airbag in the slow maker vehicle crash appears to be malfunctioning. There are young children operating lemonade stalls who are more adept at marketing. The WNBA does nothing to help, no superstar treatment, no corporate partnership blitz. Just a silent reluctance to admit that you have a player who is taking TV ratings, retail sales, and crowd attendance to new heights on their own. Reverse logic at its best. Imagine if the NBA had responded to Michael Jordan's rise by benching him every other game and putting his highlights on VHS tapes mailed out twice a year. That's essentially where we are now, and the worst part is that instead of erecting a structure around her and using her fame to elevate everyone, they're acting as though she's the issue. She is the one who turns Tuesday night games into sellouts, but rather than enjoying the moment, some players are more interested in proving a point elbow first, and the league is standing in the corner anxiously. It's not just Caitlin Clark who loses. The entire league loses because every other player misses out on the lift she could give them, twitching its thumbs like a teenager caught breaking curfew. I had the feeling that Engelbert, who oversaw Jurassic Park, would have instructed everyone to respect the Raptors' path because they were actively consuming tourists.
To Angel Reese, and I was hoping that she worked on her game. And I know people are going to point to her playing well in Unrivaled in the 3-on-3 league, and she was working with Lisa Leslie. But so far in her sophomore campaign, she has looked horrific. She's finishing 31% as her field goal percentage around the basket. Looks like she is one of the worst offensive players right now in the WNBA, and she's capable of so much more. The Chicago Sky are eventually going to have to figure out who are we going to keep, Angel Reese, or we're going to keep Cardoso, because Cardoso to me has a higher upside. She's going to be the better player, but Angel Reese is more of a better defensive player and also has a different engine.
Let's talk about visibility and media rights. The NBA established its empire on the charm of its stars. Where is the Caitlin Clark promotion machine? Where is the merchandising push, the social media material, the ads, the shoes, and the commercials that sell the Dream MJ, LeBron, and Steph? The WNBA are sitting on a generational star and still treat her as if she's on trial. The entire time, you're fumbling it like a greasy watermelon at a picnic, even though you have the dream right there in a jersey. We're in the era of TikTok viral content and brand synergy, and these people are running 1997 marketing plays like they're revolutionary. The only explanation for how thoroughly and consistently they failed to capitalize on Caitlin's rise is that the marketing team must be operating out of a closet with a broken fax machine and a flip phone. Instead of Beyoncé's Coachella-level campaign, we're seeing depressing montages on local TV and promotional images that appear to you want people to care about the league, so give them a reason to create heroes and tell stories, and maybe don't. Actively approve a physical demolition derby on your most valuable player. These were created in PowerPoint, and Angel Engelbert's leadership is what connects this catastrophe. She's either completely ignorant of how sports marketing works, or she's playing 4D chess in a game where everyone else is just trying to get their layups in without getting body slammed. You can't hold empowerment panels while players are getting decked out on live TV. You can't push growth and equity while one of your stars is being targeted like it's open season, and no one in charge seems even remotely interested in calling it off. These branding practices are a complete disconnect from reality.
Added me in my last video because I called her the face of the WNBA, and the numbers do not lie. That's no disrespect to any other hoopers of the game. A'ja Wilson, amazing. But the numbers are right here. Like it or not, she's a monster on the court. Like it or not, people come to see her play. And like it or not, when she's not playing, nobody's watching. But what do y'all think? Do y'all think the drop has anything to do with the NBA Finals currently, and maybe it'll pick back up after the NBA Finals are over? Or do you—
It's not only inept, it's disrespectful to players, fans, and the concept of sportsmanship itself. If the WNBA's objective was to alienate devoted fans and turn off new viewers, then the plan was successful. However, there is still time to turn things around. This should have been a victory lap for women's basketball, but instead it's a daily fire drill run by a captain who believes everything is fine because the smoke detector hasn't gone off yet. Perhaps one day we'll look back and laugh at this, period, as the WNBA's embarrassing growing pains. Caitlin Clark's patience, like the audience's, is limited. But at the moment, it's more of a full-blown identity crisis in heels. And unless someone at the top changes their delusions to vision, it will remain that way whether or not the generational star is there. That's the part they can't stand. Caitlin Clark invited family members along, not just viewers. 2 months after being unable to name a single WBA team, moms, dads, uncles, aunts, and half-interested cousins are now organizing family pizza parties around the Indiana Fever games. This isn't a fan base. It's a full-fledged PTA meeting complete, with jerseys,
Steph Curry money without understanding how Steph Curry makes Steph Curry money. It's because of eyeballs. And Caitlin Clark has done nothing aside from setting records but put eyes on the sport. They're failing to realize that athletics, like many endeavors, many business endeavors, is a rising tide lifts all ships or lifts all boats type deal. Caitlin Clark generating the attention that she has and making the money that she will in the future will lay the groundwork for people that come after her, women that come after her, to achieve those same things or to achieve more. Everybody can feel the general negativity from the league directed at her. It's palpable. And in reality, she's helping elevating every...
And guess what? They're here for Caitlin Clark, period. They're not here for crude fights, technical fouls, or watching Angel Reese act like a missed layup was a war crime, in addition to being a fantastic basketball player. Caitlin is the Disney Channel equivalent of a sports hero. She is clean-cut and sharp-minded and trash talks with just the right amount of spice and deference to have your grandmother remark, "Now that's a young lady." You can point to her as an example of an athlete and say, "Be like her. She's America's basketball sweetheart," and the league is treating her like just another roster space, so don't worry that she be in the news the next day for attacking someone mid-court or throwing gang signs in the handshake line. This isn't a story of growth. For all families, it's not a rising tide that lifts all boats. Here's the secret. Everyone else is too resentful to acknowledge that she is the only reason these families are paying attention at all. Circumstance: the rest of the WNBA is riding shotgun during this Caitlin Clark spectacle. Dads are giving up golf. Moms are learning zone defense jargon. Small girls are giving up, and she's selling out arenas in cities even though she doesn't play for entire schools. While some players hang around looking perplexed and asking, "Why aren't the fans cheering for me?" TikTok dances to shoot logo 3 South in the driveway. Perhaps because you've been committing felonies under the hoop for half of the game and whining about the league finally having fans for the other half. The purpose of the Caitlin Clark crowd is to watch a walking highlight reel drop dimes from the logo while grinning and saying, "Even after dropping 30 on your head, I would still say please and thank you." They are not there for political drama or locker room rivalries. Now that's a young lady. You can point to her as an example of an athlete and say, "Be like her. She's America's basketball sweetheart," and the league is treating her like just another roster space, so don't worry that she be in the news the next day for attacking someone mid-court or throwing gang signs in the handshake line. This isn't a story of growth. For all families, it's not a rising tide that lifts all boats. Here's the secret. Everyone else is too resentful to acknowledge that she is the only reason these families are paying attention at all. Circumstance: the rest of the WNBA is riding shotgun during this Caitlin Clark spectacle. Dads are giving up golf. Moms are learning zone defense jargon. Small girls are giving up, and she's selling out arenas in cities even though she doesn't play for entire schools. While some players hang around looking perplexed and asking, "Why aren't the fans cheering for me?" TikTok dances to shoot logo 3 South in the driveway. Perhaps because you've been committing felonies under the hoop for half of the game and whining about the league finally having fans for the other half. The purpose of the Caitlin Clark crowd is to watch a walking highlight reel drop dimes from the logo while grinning and saying, "Even after dropping 30 on your head, I would still say please and thank you." They are not there for political drama or locker room rivalries.
Turns out she's human after all, Dan. She's going to be out for at least a couple of weeks, it appears.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about Caitlin Clark? Remember last year, she played in the Final Four. Right after that, she went immediately to the WNBA. Draft came, season started, and, didn't miss a beat. And all of a sudden, she got a little rest and comes back, gets a little banged up. I heard you talking about it earlier, and it's going to be fascinating to me, Ricky. I've been to Fever games, and the one thing you notice, and this is more so than even when Peyton Manning was the quarterback of the Colts. The jerseys, the number 22, the various styles, whether it's a T-shirt with 22, whether it's an Iowa jersey, whether it's a Fever jersey, a throwback, whatever. The amount of people in yellow 22.
It's not a Real Housewives spin-off, but rather the WNBA is being watched because their children are inspired by it. Their daughters want to be like Caitlin, their sons want to be like her, and the rest of the league is too busy gatekeeping. You can almost hear the collective awe of families across America as they settle in with snacks and matching hoodies. Whenever Caitlin checks into a game, the front porch to discover that she's the reason someone even knocked on the house. Try asking a suburban Iowan father to name 5 other WNBA players, and you'll get perplexed and attentive. Brittany Griner, perhaps, but ask him about Caitlin Clark. He has shooting percentages and statistics. She's the poster kid they've been waiting for. She's LeBron in 2003, with college highlight tapes committed to memory like Bible scriptures. Larry Bird in a ponytail and Steph in 2015 both rolled into one, and the league somehow believes it's a team effort. No other player is drawing in multi-generational viewers in this way. Unless Clark is in town, you don't see families lining up 10 deep to Liberty games. When she's not, those sold-out banners suddenly become very shy. The energy drops, and the cameras pan to empty seats. This isn't a coincidence. It's a Caitlin-shaped crater in the audience. She's the draw, the pulse, and the reason WNBA jerseys are flying off the shelves. The Indiana Fever has taken over as the franchise of all women's sports in states without teams. We have never seen anything like this before, and I came across a really intriguing graphic on Twitter today that read, "The Jordan Effect versus the Caitlin Clark Effect." Prior to Jordan's first 33 games in the league, the average annual attendance was 8,021. However, during his rookie season, year that increased by 60.3%, with an average of 12,855. Now, if you consider the Caitlin Clark Effect and her contributions to the WNBA, the average attendance for the Indiana Fever was 6.19 prior to her joining the league, but during her rookie season, it increased to 15,746, a 157.7% increase. Rise when discussing additionally, there is still this strange effort from within the league to make it seem like everyone is sharing it equally, as if Clark is simply one of many people experiencing this collective glow-up. Yes, that's equivalent to claiming that a team effort, rather than just Steve Jobs holding the cosmos together with a turtleneck in a dream, was responsible for Apple's success in the early 2000s. People are even searching for the WNBA schedule on Google because Caitlin is the product and the marketer. While other players are busy making cryptic tweets and competing in the most bitness per minute challenge, there is no guilt in trying to cut the wings of the one individual keeping the entire operation in the air. There is no shame in being the star. Instead of holding press conferences or shoe agreements, Clark is occupied encouraging 6-year-olds to participate in basketball camps. She's accomplishing this by arriving, dumping threes, then leaving as if she were going to. The irony is that Caitlin Clark's fans are the very type of audience the WNBA has been pleading for: loyal, respectful, involved, and growing every week. These are the fans who purchase season tickets, pack concession stands, and produce heartwarming viral moments with their children holding homemade signs. To be clear, they are not merely fans, they are also investors in the league's future, and the player they are funding is one. If Angel Reese were not playing against Caitlin Clark on the court right now, she would be the only reason people talk about the WNBA. In fact, a significant portion of all tickets sold in the WNBA are for people to watch. Caitlin Clark played basketball. Angel Reese has essentially turned into the Bill Lamberto Caitlin Clark's Larry Bird, and that is essentially where we are now every time the cameras move over the crowd. Dads are clearly giving their boys high fives, mothers are pointing out play formations to their daughters, and grandparents are holding go signals. These aren't fair weather followers. Caitlin wrote in glitter pen, "They're the type of people that show up rain or shine, win or lose, because she's worth it." Some players seem to believe that this immediately gives them the same attention, but that's not how it works. Kindergarten, not every participant receives a gold star. The WNBA should be stumbling over itself to build everything around Caitlin, but instead they're busy trying to make her just another face in the crowd. She earned it by working hard for years, spending endless nights in the gym, carrying a college team on her back, and then entering the league with the weight of an entire sport on her shoulders. It may sound harsh, but the truth is that we are not here for WNBA tribalism, locker room feuds, or look-at-me-to campaigns. She has had a significant impact on the league, and the Indiana Fever in particular. As she states, this is the destination. They are putting all of their eggs into this basket. They are building this team. They are trying to win. Now they are building the billion. We're here for the basketball star who lights up the court and makes it entertaining to watch. We're here for the kid who made Logo 3A lifestyle. And we're here for Caitlin Clark, no matter how much money they spend on this state-of-the-art practice facility. The remaining background noise until someone else takes the initiative and gains the same respect, or try helping the person who currently has it, or even quit hurling elbows and start taking notes because, while some players are still figuring out how to increase their social media following, Caitlin is already creating a movement that is family-friendly, community-centered, and involves parents cheering, parents screaming, and kids practicing in the dryway movement. If the WNBA is smart, they will stop opposing this and begin to celebrate it because, instead of the stands being full because the league suddenly became interesting, they are completely full because of Caitlin Clark arrived, as did all of the accompanying families.